This just came in, and we are not waiting to share it with you. Gloria Gaither released a statement within the last hour, and the gospel community is still processing what she said. Not Bill, Gloria. The woman who has spent 60 years standing just slightly behind the spotlight, writing the words that made the songs immortal, has stepped forward to tell fans something about her husband that the family has never said out loud until now. Bill cannot respond. Those 3 words are what everyone is talking about tonight, and by the time this video is done, you will understand the full weight of what she meant. Stay with us, because what she shared goes far deeper than a health update, and what comes out around the 10-minute mark is the part that even devoted homecoming fans were not expecting. If you did not grow up with the Gaither homecoming videos playing in your living room, here's what you need to know. Bill Gaither is not simply a famous name in Southern gospel and Christian music. For millions of believers across America, he is the man who kept the old songs alive when the rest of the world had moved on. He gathered the legends, Vestal Goodman, Jake Hess, George Yunts, in a barn in Alexandria, Indiana back in 1991, pointed a camera at them, and let something holy happen. What came out of that barn became one of the most beloved series in the history of gospel music. And beside him, through every single moment of it, was Gloria. She co-wrote Because He Lives. She wrote He Touched Me. She gave language to the faith of an entire generation of believers, and she did it without ever needing the applause for herself. For millions of fans, Gloria Gaither was not just Bill's wife. She was proof that the most important voices are sometimes the quietest ones in the room, which is exactly why hearing from her right now hits so differently. To feel the full weight of what she said today, you have to go back to 1970. Bill and Gloria had just welcomed their son Benjamin into the world. But the pregnancy had been frightening, the complications were real, and the fear inside that house was the kind that does not respond to optimism. Gloria sat down at a table and wrote the words to Because He Lives, not as a woman standing on solid ground, but as a woman clinging to a ledge, trusting that the God she believed in was strong enough to hold her there. That song went on to be sung at more funerals, more baptisms, more moments of impossible grief and unexpected joy than almost any other song in Christian music history. That is who Gloria is, and that is the woman who stepped forward today to speak about the man she has shared her life with for more than 60 years. For a while now, something has felt different at the homecoming gatherings. Fans who have attended concerts or watched recent recordings noticed Bill moving more carefully, tiring more quickly, carrying a quietness that was not always there before. Nobody said anything officially. The family stayed close with it. But those who love this ministry felt it, the way you feel a shift in someone you have known for a long time, even before they say a word about it. There is one detail in Gloria's statement that almost every gospel and Christian music outlet has missed entirely, and it is the detail that changes the meaning of everything else she said. We are going to get there, but first, you need to understand what she was willing to say publicly, and why the fact that she said it matters as much as what the words actually were. And this is where the story turns. Gloria's statement was not a press release. It did not read like something written by a publicist or approved by a media team. It read like a woman who decided the people who have loved her family for decades deserved the truth, spoken plainly and without decoration. She acknowledged that Bill is in a season of life that looks different from what fans have known, that he tires more easily, moves more slowly, and cannot engage the way he once did. He cannot respond to everyone the way he used to, she told fans directly, addressing the letters and cards and messages that have gone unanswered. Those words broke something open in the gospel community. Not because they were shocking. Bill Gaither is in his late 80s, and aging is not a surprise, but because hearing Gloria say them out loud made it real in a way that nothing else had. She did not soften it into something comfortable. What she offered instead was something far more valuable than comfort. She described the man she still sees every day with the kind of love that only comes from watching someone across an entire lifetime. Still sharp, she said, still moved by the music, still caring deeply about the people who have followed this ministry. She was not writing an ending, she was writing an honest chapter. The response from the Gaither family of artists came fast, and it came from the heart. Wes Hampton wrote about a man who never once stopped caring about the people sitting in the seats. David Phelps, whose voice Bill believed in before almost anyone else did, reflected on what Bill's faith and mentorship had meant to his own walk. And thousands of fans responded because they felt exactly the same thing in their own lives. Lowry, who can find the humor in almost anything, got quiet when asked about Bill. "He is one of the most consistent men of faith I have ever known," Mark said, and the people who have spent years in that circle did not need any further explanation. What Gloria shared fits the whole arc of what the Gaither ministry has always stood for. These were never people who presented faith as a life without pain. Because He Lives came out of fear. The Homecoming series came out of Bill's quiet awareness that time was passing, that the voices he loved would not be here forever, and that someone needed to capture what was sacred before it was gone. That instinct, to hold on to what matters, to honor it while you still can, is the thread running through 60 years of this ministry, and it is the thread running through what Gloria said today. She asked fans to go back to the recordings, to listen again, to understand that everything Bill put into those moments is still there, still alive, still capable of meeting you in whatever you are walking through right now. "The music doesn't age," she said, "and if you have ever sat in front of a homecoming video at 2 in the morning because you needed something real, you know precisely what she meant." For those of us who have followed this family for years, her words are not just news, they are an invitation. To love the people in our lives while we can say it. To not wait until things are quieter or easier or more convenient. Bill Gaither spent his entire career gathering people together, pulling voices into the same room, making space for the old songs and the old stories, insisting that what had been sacred deserved to be treated that way. Gloria is asking us to do the same thing now, to gather, to remember, to reach out to the people whose faith has shaped our own and tell them what that has meant. The question her statement leaves open, and she did not answer it directly, is what comes next for the ministry itself. The artists Bill poured himself into, the stages he built for voices that might otherwise never have had them, the spirit he created in that Indiana barn more than 30 years ago, all of it now rests in the hands of the community he built. And that community, if the response to Gloria's words is any measure, is more than ready to carry it forward. Whatever the coming months hold, the people who have followed this ministry for decades already know the truth that sits beneath all of it. Bill Gaither's story is not finished. Gloria's story, woven through every line of it, is not finished either. The words she wrote more than 50 years ago about facing tomorrow because He lives, about fear losing its grip, are still doing exactly what she wrote them to do. If this story moved you tonight, the next video will as well. We have been following the personal journeys of several Gaither vocal band members through their hardest seasons, and what came out of those stories is just as unexpected and just as worth your time.